again, I was sweating as I was coming over to the studios here, but it's okay. It's part of our African nature. Well, now, this is our show, Politics Now, where we look at those issues to help our country to be that great nation that we desire, so that we don't need to be running away. We can stay home. And even those who have run away, they are Nigerians. Anytime they want to come home, we can welcome them. But we need to prepare the grounds for that great nation. Well, today on the show, I wanted to say I'm having my very first female guest, but of course we've had those INEC officials coming here that time to discuss about the elections before that time. But as you know, today we're going to be looking at the issue of women in politics. What do they bring? What is special? Over the years, I think it's since the Beijing conference in 1985, they've been mouthing it that what a man can do, women can do better. I don't know if that includes those negatives that we accuse men of doing, whether men do those things better, whether women do those things better. But of course, the gender issues, recently we got information after the elections that there are less women in the National Assembly now than there were in the current Assembly, that there will be less women in the 10th Assembly than there are in the current 9th Assembly, National Assembly. So we'll be looking at what happened, why did we get there. Joining me to look at these issues of women in politics is no less a person than the Chief Executive Officer of Thunderbird Television Nigeria, and that is Mayowa Uluwabi. Mayowa, I want to thank you so much for joining me here on Citizen FM.
I'm glad to be here.
All right, I'm glad to have you too. All right, Thunderbird TV is Thunderbird TV Nigeria. You can get them on YouTube as well. They broadcast. They are a TV station that they're into production of productive. I don't know how I call it, but they produce programs that point at the greatness of Nigeria. So you can check them out on YouTube as well. Thunderbird TV Nigeria. Now, I don't know. So we're talking about women. What is this? Let's go straight. What is this special thing that you believe that women bring into leadership that people are seeing? Shino Peter was shouting many years ago, I still remember, give our women chance to rule, 90% corruption, men, and all of that. What is this special thing that women bring into leadership, that there's this requirement that everybody is shouting, give women an opportunity?
Women are a great component of the society. In fact, they are the hands that rock the cradle. And it is to the detriment of any nation to neglect the potentials that women can bring to the table. In terms of managerial ability, women have been trained to even manage the home. So if you have managed a home, managed a business, why won't you manage the nation? Why won't you manage any sector of the economy? And a lot of women are doing very well in various sectors of Nigeria's economy, proving their mettle, giving their own, quota to the system. So when it comes to leadership, you edge us out. Why? I should ask the men.
Well, the way you're saying you, as if I'm the one who did it. So I don't know. People have said that the Nigerian society is actually a patriarchal society. Where men just assume and they are the overlords. Mm-hmm. They dominate their wives and dominate their daughters, and as a result of that, this has impacted leadership, and that is why there are not so many women in leadership positions. Not because they're not competent, but so do you agree that we have a patriarchal society?
Oh, definitely.
So how do we reverse that?
It has evolved over time, and there has to be a deliberate policy.
Okay.
It has to be intentional on the part of government to involve women in governance.
You think there needs to be? So from your point of view, there needs to be a quota. For instance, we have this information that of the women, about 8 women who were in who are currently in the 9th National Assembly, the Senate, the upper chamber, that none of them will be returning, and then 3 new ones have just been elected. I mean, maybe after all the cases, we still have those 3, and that in the lower chamber, 7 will be coming back, and 7 new ones have been elected, making a total of 14 plus 3, that's 17, which is less than we have currently in the National Assembly. How do you make of that? That if it comes to voting in the National Assembly, do you mean that women should not be voted for? There should be spaces reserved for them so that in those constituents, votes will not be tallied. They will just say a woman is going to represent these people and we accept it?
No, I think there was a while back, it was stated that for every 3 of the senatorial zones,
okay, 1
should be female.
So that means all the contestants in that zone should be female, all the parties?
1 out of the 3 should be female.
Okay.
So the parties can implement their constitution.
Okay, that is, the parties will implement that.
Yes.
At the nomination level.
But we don't see that here. From the primaries, a lot of the women are even edged out because it's a do or die affair for men. The battle is fierce, and it's grown fiercer than we have ever seen it. So much so that it's only 3 women that made it to the Senate in the 10th Assembly.
What do we do about this? What do we need to do to ensure that women, their voices are heard?
I think the parties have to walk along that line because, like it or not, the greatest part of their votes come from women. Women are the highest in the number of that have their PVCs. In the rural areas, they take it seriously. Women are high voters. So it must be acknowledged. It must be recognized. And if it's not possible through elections, it should be possible with selective appointments.
Okay.
Because the Prime Minister of Ethiopia recently,
okay,
50% of his cabinet is made up of women.
That's Abiy Ahmed, the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. Okay,
yes. Yeah. Okay. And I hope the president-elect in Nigeria too will be. We're looking to him to have a 50%. Okay,
I can acknowledge that the Abiy Ahmed actually reduced in October last year, reduced his cabinet from 28 to 20, and then made it 50-50 between men and women. And a woman is actually currently occupying the defense portfolio. A woman is the defense minister in Ethiopia. So I don't know. Now, let's come back to the National Assembly. We shall be coming back to this later.
Okay.
What do you think? Do you think the lower number of women in the National Assembly is going to impact the bills and all those efforts and things they've done? How do you think it's going to impact the performance of the National Assembly when they have less women?
Well, it's always been a male-dominated environment. So it will definitely affect the impact on women bills.
So what are those kind of bills now? Do you think that if women are not there, those issues may not be brought to the fore because these are the issues that impact women or maybe generally the home or whatever? What kind of bills are those, you think?
Like domestic violence.
Okay. So mostly issues on gender?
Yes, mostly
children,
issues, yes.
IDPs,
yes.
all of that. You think men don't care about those issues?
Men have more pressing issues. They won't.
I don't know. What are that pressing issues?
I don't know.
Men say their wives are always on their neck.
They don't see gender issues as serious issues.
But do women not believe that there's this pillow talk that we talk about, that we have this person, after all the advice from all the advisors, the final talk in the leader's ear, the man, the president, or the senator, or whatever, is that of a woman? Is that not enough influence that the women wield in power without necessarily them occupying that seat?
Well, to some extent it is. But it's not official.
Okay. So women need that official, so they are
we need that official stamp.
They are the ones who now push for all of that. Okay, how will you respond to a situation where there is a hanging election in Adamawa State right now, and I think it was the same thing in 2019 as well, and issues have emanated that even members of I think it's Haja Binani, they call her, the Mama Taraba, I guess. Oh no,
the last one was Mama Taraba.
Okay, this is not Mama Taraba now, and they say that even male members of her political party are skeptical about a woman suddenly becoming a leader. That in Nigeria, this patriarchal mentality of men, how do you think that thing can be broken so men will begin to accept that a woman can be their leader?
Well, this is an example of the Binani case can be the game changer for us. If the system and the men allow it, we need to break that chain.
Oh, but you're still depending on men to do. Why can't women rally themselves now that you see that in terms of PVC collection, women have a large number?
Yeah.
Well, how come they cannot rally around each other to say, okay, we need to put a woman in place, like what the young people tried to do in the last elections? It's okay,
yes.
We want somebody younger.
Yes, we're working on that.
Oh, you're working on it? So men are going to wake up one day and see that?
Yes,
Okay, you're hearing the voice of Mayawa Oluwabi, the Chief Executive Officer of Thunderbird Television. They have the studios in Maitama, Abuja here, joining me this afternoon to look at the issue of women in governance. And some time ago, I think 35% was promised women. I think by President Jonathan, and then of course President Buhari. Of course, at the end of the day, we did not get that. What do you think was responsible for the non-implementation of the 35% gender split that the president promised?
As part of the main conspiracy and the patriarchal system, you guys have not accepted the reality that women are in partnership for development.
What do you think is this fear?
That women need to, I don't know.
What do you think is this fear that men have? That,
I don't know.
How, my wife is,
yes,
what do you think? No, but you have to think about what is that fear? It's like there's a fear that men have that if a woman gets into a position of authority,
yes,
something is removed from them.
Yes, I think you guys feel emasculated if a woman becomes powerful or comes into power.
But we have bigger countries than Nigeria. The UK, Jacinda Ardern just submitted in New Zealand, where she did very, very well. And there are so many other countries, even currently, where Taiwan and the others, where women are currently in charge.
Yeah, I think those countries, over time, there's been an evolution. They've had their time, just like we're having now.
Okay.
And it's difficult for the men to accept women into the system. But an evolution takes place. So we're going to evolve, I believe.
Okay.
Provided they can use Binani as a game changer.
Well, so you're still hoping that she will emerge victorious?
Well, seriously
all
hoping.
Said and done
all women, our dreams are with her and aspirations.
Okay. Modeling our democracy after that of the U.S., I think I was very close by, following the U.S. elections, and when Hillary Clinton almost clinched the seat, that was in 2016. Yeah, that's correct. And I remember some. Quite surprisingly, we believe that the American society is very liberal, but at least I had encounters with Americans at that time, whites, who said, it's unthinkable for them to have a woman as their president. And I was really shocked that even in American society of today, there is still that skepticism about allowing a woman at such a high office, even though women have occupied big offices within the U.S. So I don't know, where does that come from, that there is this pushback against women in certain societies not to get to certain leadership positions? I think you guys call it the glass ceiling.
Yeah. But women have broken the glass ceiling in other areas.
Okay.
It seems that it's this central leadership that is being the challenge for a lot of nations. But we are grateful for the countries that have been able to conquer that fear and seen that women can actually do well. Look at Angela Merkel in Germany.
Yeah, the former chancellor of Germany.
She did like 2 or 3 terms.
Merkel, she had to even live that place. They didn't even want her to go.
Oh, exactly.
The whole of Europe trembles at her feet because she did so well. I agree with you.
That's what we're talking about.
Right.
It's what a woman will bring to the table. A woman that has integrity, a woman that has education, a woman that is refined in the true sense of the word. Because refinement in quotes.
Okay. Now that you mention integrity, we've had women in top positions here in Nigeria. We remember, is it Patricia Ete? I remember, and of course Diziani Alice Madwike, Minister of Petroleum, and so many issues which we don't want to go into now have come up, and they become a minors when women want to say, okay, women should be in position of authority and things like that. What do you say to that when people say, Shino Peter Charter years ago, he said 90% of corruption caused by men, but from all indications, when we use those ones as examples, it's like what men can do, women can do better, which is what I was referring to. So they show that they are, this corruption thing. So how do you
of course, even amongst women, there will be bad eggs. We're not saying that it's a thorough and fair road, that any woman that comes into power will be coming to equity with clean hands. Of course, there are some corrupt women, but that's not to say that all women are corrupt.
Okay.
It's a minimal percentage compared to men. There's a gross corruption spirit among men.
People say that it's not just about men and women. That in the Nigerian society, there is an aggressive mentality. There's a dog-eat-dog mentality that pervades our society, that everybody wants to grab. People are not now thinking about how do we build the nation. How do you react to that? So it has nothing to do with whether it's a woman in position or a man.
Yeah, we really need a reset as a nation. The mindset of a lot of Nigerians is greed, is primitive acquisition. Oh, this man got there and he came and he hammered. That we need to begin to let them see governance differently. That it's not a place of enrichment, it's a place of service to the people.
You just used the word reset, and that's exactly what my guest yesterday, Kasim Afegboa, said. He said
we need a
national reset.
We do.
Does that mean that this whole thing is getting to everyone and people are getting tired of the aggressive grab attitude that we have in our society?
But it is.
Wow. All right, you're still tuned to 93.7 Citizen FM, and it's Politics Now. Joining me this afternoon is the Chief Executive Officer of Thunderbird Television, Nigeria, with studios in the FCT here in Maitama, Abuja, Maiwa Oluwabi, and we're looking at the issue of women in leadership. And we just learned that the Minister of Defense currently in Ethiopia is actually a woman. Maya, what do you think? A woman is named as Minister of Defense.
What's wrong with that?
No, I'm just asking you. How do you think society will react? She'll be going to Sambisa Forest inside the Maru local government area in Zamfara State.
No, but the Minister of Defense does not really have to go into those areas.
Okay.
His competence, his capacity, and she must have proven herself over time. There must be some deliverables she's bringing to the table, based on her past or her background. We haven't checked her profile.
Okay. So you mean we have women of that caliber within our society in Nigeria here?
Yes, we do.
Who, when given such portfolios, can deliver?
Yes, we do.
Why haven't the women been more proactive in terms of coming forth? We see the presidential elections, we see the APC, the leading parties, the PDP, and of course the third force that we've been talking about over the years, suddenly manifesting without being prompted, with young persons rallying around the Labour Party. Why was it not that it was a woman who was leading that charge as a new thing? Why are the women still staying back? Is it because the patriarchal system is emasculating them, or they are just deliberately denying themselves?
No, it's the patriarchal system still emasculating them.
So they already have freed ab initio, but that does not help the cause of women wanting to be in leadership position if they have given up already.
No, they haven't given up already, but when the terrain gets too rough, women tend to back down.
But I believe that they're not supposed to come in there to change it. Like, when I was younger, there was this story too that going for political meetings is like witchcraft. That is about 3 a.m. that they go to those meetings, and that women who have responsibilities at home cannot be doing. How can women step in there and change those narratives to make it 8 p.m. meetings?
It has to be a conscious and a deliberate effort.
But you should know the men already benefit from what is on the ground. So you can't expect bring them to change it. There are certain factors that make people to change. They have to be pushed to it.
Yes, the women are coming up.
You have an idea of some women you want to name for us who are really working hard and so we can be on the lookout to support. We want to support them. There are men who are gender sensitive, who are feminists actually.
Really?
Yes, and they want to help women to get there.
You guys have been pretending.
No, honestly, there are men who are willing and ready to support. I don't think Binani will get to where she is without some men actively working and helping her to get to where she is.
True.
So there are definitely men who are feminists and who want this, especially those who have noticed her capabilities from working or doing stuff with her. So there are men who want to help. So I don't know if there are women that you believe have some qualities within our own context here, so that we can be on the lookout for them to assist them when the time comes.
Well, no, we have lots of women in the system who've proven themselves from different sectors, like Ibukun Awoshika. She was a former chairman of First Bank. And Binani is proving her own in Adamawa too.
Okay.
At least she beat them in the primaries and emerged as a female gubernatorial candidate of the party.
Okay, that's true. We have the Okonjo Iwealas.
Yes, we have the Okonjo Iwealas.
Carrying the flag of Nigeria around the world.
Yes.
At a very high level and distinguishing herself at it as well.
Yes. And I have tremendous respect for this woman that started Emzor Pharmaceuticals.
Oh, yeah.
Stella Okoli.
Okay, I don't
Although she's aged now, I think, but she's a strong woman. Never know why she was never interested in politics.
Do you know, as you mentioned that, I just triggered in my mind that the impression of the Nigerian man, if you check social media these days and all of that, what you see about women is people who want to polish their faces, paint their lips, and they show off their new pictures of their bodies and things like that.
No.
And so it becomes very difficult to begin to take persons who are entrenched in such frivolities very seriously, because that image impacts the mentality of most men. Those are the people you see first. Anytime you think about women, that this frivolous, people are going to enhance their bodies to attract men and all of that. So how do you want to give such responsibilities of a defense ministry in Nigeria?
Because the women that are toiling and doing the dirty work, they're not in the media. Those are the ones you find in the media and soft sell atmosphere. But when you're looking for serious women that are walking behind the scenes, they're not into all those frivolities. You have to dig to see them.
So why did they allow these ones to take over? Because that is the image of women that most men have. If you ask me now, the first thing I think about is there are places I don't like to go to, especially on social media, TikTok, Facebook, and all of that. Because the first thing you see is that, look at my new lipstick. I just sprayed a new perfume. I just bought a new dress and all of that. I agree with what you said. But so there must be a conscious effort first within the women community to ensure that the hardworking ones, don't you think that is necessary?
Yeah, it's very necessary.
That the hardworking ones are the ones that are being promoted.
Yeah, it's very
so that
necessary.
men can begin to understand that it's not just all about frivolities and enhanced bodies.
Yeah, it's very necessary. And that's why I've started my program, Women Achievers. I've been profiling of late women who have done very well in their field of endeavor.
Okay, on Thunderbird Television?
Yes, on Thunderbird Television.
Okay, can we check that out? Is there...
sure.
What is the link to that so we can check it out?
Thunderbird TV Nigeria.
Okay, Thunderbird TV Nigeria. Is that one
on
word?
YouTube, yeah.
Okay, on YouTube. Okay, so if you're listening, you can check it out. Check out some of the work of a Thunderbird Television. Thunderbird TV Nigeria is on YouTube. You can see the works of Mayawa Oluwabi there, where she's promoting women achievers who have done great things before. I remember working with engineer Ebele Ufunne Amaka Okeke.
Yes.
Actually, yeah, that's the first woman head of service.
Yes.
And of course, Amal Pebble as well.
Yes.
And I mean, to be honest with you,
and we have Ifweko Omogui.
Okay, there's also Ifweko Omogui,
former chairman of the FIRS.
Okay, of the Federal Revenue Service.
Very sound, very grounded woman.
Okay. I remember working with those two men as when they were head of service. I was there with them, and they distinguished themselves very well.
Yeah.
Wow. So how? Because it still bothers me. Why did we not see much more women canvassing to be presidential candidates? I think there was a young lady in one of the parties who even
yes, Barrister Uju.
Yes.
Or or something.
I don't know how many votes she got at the end of the day. I don't know how many.
She stepped down.
Okay, she stepped down finally.
She stepped down for Jagaba.
Oh, it was in the APC?
It was the APC. She was the only female aspirant.
Okay. So for you, what are we looking at? You, as a gender activist, what do we hope to see you moving forward? What are the necessary things you think is necessary to be done to ensure that women get their rightful place in terms of, really in leadership in Nigeria?
Like I said, I've started with the Women Achievers.
Okay, Women Achievers on Thunderbird TV. Okay.
Yeah, it's a platform that we are showcasing women, hardworking women, not frivolous women.
Okay.
Not women advertising their lipstick. You understand?
I do.
So we want to change the narrative. And I'm sure if other media partners, women entrepreneurs out there also put out their story and brand themselves properly, then we'll begin to see a shift, a reset. Like I said, the mindset has to change.
Okay, the mindset of who now?
Of even the women.
Okay.
You need to start looking at hard-working women, not frivolous women that are just showing off a part of their body or a part of their anatomy or flashing a lipstick.
Okay,
that women are beyond lipstick.
Okay.
There are women grappling with the realities of the economy and contributing their quota to national development.
We were looking at this thing just a few moments ago of this new trend of women who are expecting and then advertising this issue as if it's something. What do you think of that in general creation of the mental image of women, where this sacred, this fantastic job that women do for evolution and for nature, and then you just open pictures and you see women advertising being expectant, almost naked, showing off the pregnancy and all of, and it begins to trend, and you begin to wonder. I don't know, maybe I'm a conservative person. I try to flip through those pages quickly because I don't think that is something I want to see. I believe that's a great job that women do to keep the generations going, and here some women think it's a great thing to be advertising themselves in that position. I don't know, maybe I am wrong, maybe it's
no, you're not. It's quite unfortunate actually that should become a trend for every woman of various sizes to come and bump their pregnancy in our faces. I think it's a trend that should be controlled or regulated. It's all right.
Okay.
There are more decent ways to display it.
Okay. All right, Abuja, I'm here today having my, the INEC people came here, they were official, two women coming to join me at that time. I have my first woman guest today. We're looking at the issue of gender and leadership in Nigeria, and I'm joined by Maiwo Oluwabi, the Chief Executive Officer of Thunderbird Television, Nigeria. We've been looking at the reduced number of women in the upcoming 10th Assembly as compared to the current 9th Assembly, that's at the National Assembly level. And of course, looking at Ethiopia, taking a cue from them here, the president reduced the number of ministers from 28 to 20 and made it a 50-50 affair. 10 men and 10 women as ministers, even giving one of the ministries, Ministry of Defense, Ministry of Trade, Ministry of Transportation, and of course he created a new ministry, the Ministry of Peace, and they put women in those ministries. Well, my Oluwabi is here in the studio joining me. The phone lines are open now in case you want to join us to be a part of this. Maybe you have something to say. We want to hear from our female folk to add a voice to what we are discussing. 0903 222 9797 0903-222-9797. You can get us in the studio here. Better still, there's an alternate number, 0818-2222-205. 0818-2222-205, so that you can add bite to this issue. So now, looking forward now to the inauguration of the new president come May 29th, what are your expectations in this new government that is coming? Do you think we're going to have a 50-50 like to imitate Ethiopia, where we have, I don't know, we have about 40 ministries now or thereabout. You think we're going to have, or you start with the 35%?
Yeah.
What are you expecting?
I think they will start with the 35%.
Oh, you believe so?
I believe so.
When President Jonathan and President Buhari did not meet up with that, you think Jagaban?
I think Jagaban is gender friendly. He is not,
Oh, you believe that?
I believe so. I want to believe so. With the influence of his wife.
Okay.
You can tell from the marriage that he allowed her to participate in politics, encouraged her. She's at the Senate. She nurtured her political career as well. So you can see that he's a man that is disposed to women rising.
Okay.
He's not.
Okay, so you mean those are some of the signs that
those are some of the signs.
A man who is actually.
Yes.
Okay,
if you see a man that keeps his wife only in the other room, you will know that he will not be disposed too much to women rising in governance or in leadership.
Don't you believe that becomes a general problem in our country where we have okay. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, my brother.
Okay, thanks for joining us.
My name is Suleiman.
Oh, Suleiman, good afternoon. How are you doing today?
Fine, sir. Fine, sir.
How is Ducey?
Fine. About to get a woman for Nigeria work, 25% to our Jagabat.
Okay.
I'm sure that if we leave this government, as far as the government, the woman gets work, information assembly, all these things like this is high. But I'm sure that if Jagabat.
Hello. We seem to have lost him there. Please, you can call us back at 0903-222-9797. 0903-222-9797. Alternate number 0818-2222-205. 0818-2222-205. We're looking at women in leadership. Do you believe that women can do better than men? Do you believe that this dog-eat-dog society that we have, that is as a result of men always being in leadership position, and they bring that attitude into it, and that if we have more women, we could soften up our situation a little bit more, make our country a little bit softer, we'll abide the rules a little bit more, and all of that? Or what is your take on it? I'm being joined this afternoon by Mayowa Oluwabi, the Chief Executive Officer of Thunderbird TV, to look at this issue. Suleiman, we just lost you there, but I think he was backing you that he believes that when Jagaban comes in, there is going to be a shift and have a little bit more younger women. I don't know, let me not put young there, I don't get into any trouble, but more women in leadership. Okay, yes, you can call us 0818-222-205. All right, so I don't know, we're looking at the issue of having these positions like the Ministry of Defense. We've had women as the Minister of Finance. Even currently, women is the Minister of Finance. Fantastic. Minister of Petroleum. Those are big ministries in Nigeria. How do you rate their performance? Because in going forward, there is a big look back and say, women who have held such positions before, how did they perform? How do you rate the current Minister of Finance, for instance?
I think she is doing her bit. Okonjo-Iweala was also there. She did her bit.
People said Okonjo-Iweala was more proactive, that she had this grasp, and there's this impression. I'm not trying to denigrate in any way, but I believe there's this impression that the current Minister of Finance, that a lot of men are talking across her shoulder, and they just, I'm telling you the truth, that's the impression you get sometimes, that men are just, they don't want to allow her to just relax and take charge. That I don't know if it is true, but there's just that impression that when Okonjo-Iweala was there, if you remember how Adams Shomole and the rest of them, who was a governor then, there was a battle. I've read her books. I read the books she wrote, how her mother was kidnapped and all of that. There was a lot of fight because she stood her ground and said, look, you guys will not just have your way. But sometimes you just feel as if the current minister of men are just talking over her shoulder, and she's just overwhelmed sometimes or something like that. I don't know. Is that why it's difficult to have women in big positions, that men will still come there to intimidate them if they are not this aggressive type that wants to hold their ground?
And women come in different shades, obviously.
Okay.
So there are women who have capacity to even stand the heat. So it's such women that should be called forward to leadership. Because if you can't take the heat, you have no business in the kitchen.
Some people have touted before that, and they've asked the question, how come Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala is at the World Bank, or at the WTO rather? Why is she not here running to be president?
Oh, I think probably the timing, she doesn't believe in the timing. And there's an appointed time for some projects. So I believe in the nearest future, we're still going to hear of her.
Oh, you still believe so?
Oh, sure.
Well, what about age? She's aging on a daily basis. We all are. Everybody ages as the days go by, even the hours as the hours go by, and time is running away from us.
And men not aging, are they still not participating?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. But new ones keep emerging. That's what I'm driving at. Maybe, I don't know, but like you say, okay, maybe there's an appointed time.
Yeah, I believe she will still come out.
Wow. Okay, you can still call us 0903-222-9797, 0818-2222-205, and you'll be right here in the studio with us to contribute your share to women in leadership in Nigeria. How have the women we've put in that have come into leadership before, how have they performed? You think men are scared when they hear of this powerful, knowledgeable, credible woman in his position, and will prevent them from pulling their shenanigans, and as a result of that she will not play ball, and so they prevent her from coming? I know some of the fears that men have, that this woman may not want to play, but she will not understand, let's put it like that.
I think men will be afraid of women, that they may not be able to control her. They may not be able to play with the team of greedy men. Or they may want to change the whole system, overhaul the system.
Do you think that comes from the home, where men have seen their wives and their daughters behave, and they now believe that this gender is not amenable to team play? Is that it? No, I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking. Is it because men have this, without any doubt, there's a fear in the mind, in the mentality of men, that women, and the only men the women you see in your life are either your mother, your sister, or your wife and your daughters. So what happens between those people to create this fear in men? Or are men just brought up to say you are the leader, shut the women out?
I think men are just brought up to believe that they're the leaders. They should be in charge and take care of the women. So it's a cultural or maybe a geographical mindset that needs to be overhauled. I don't think it's from the family.
Okay.
Because in families, you see that a lot of fathers relate with their daughters. They relate very well with their wives.
Do they give them leadership? Do they give
Exactly.
authority at home? That's the question.
I've seen some fathers actually do that they empower their girls. Men are coming out to the realization that women are holding their own. A lot of girls are doing very well in their space, in business, in the professions. So fathers are becoming conscious that it's not only the boy that can become a leader. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yes, I am following you.
There's women are evolving, even in the home. Your daughters are changing. Daughters of the yesteryears are different from the daughters of today.
On social media?
No, not on social media. Please don't use the social media as a general blanket for women in Nigeria.
Okay.
There are a lot of young girls out there doing very well in their field and breaking new grounds. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of young women are breaking new grounds, going into business on their own, small, medium businesses, and the professions.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you believe that should be the yardstick with which to measure that if they can do well in those areas, then if you promote them,
yes,
they will also deliver.
Yes. It's bringing them to the forefront. Because in the yesteryears, there were very few professions that women were even found. Unlike today. A lot of them are in the tech fields.
They're in the army as well.
They're in the army as well. They're being recruited. They're in immigrations.
I think there's first woman admiral in Adamawa State recently. Sometime last week, was just promoted. I can't remember her name now, and was being celebrated by the state governor. I think yes, first in the Navy, first woman admiral.
We're having female fighter pilots. So women are coming. There is an evolution. There is an evolving of women.
The evolution of women. Is it possible to trace it to the general failure of men? Do you think that is?
No, I think it's not the failure per se. It's the fathers, even the fathers realizing that if you have a daughter, if you train her very well, it's as good as having a son.
In an era where you have sons getting into so much mischief.
Exactly. And there's been a lot of emphasis on the girl child education. So girls are coming up faster. In fact, it might even be to the detriment of the boys in the next generation.
Oh, you are alluding to the fact men will become extinct?
No, not extinct.
Okay.
Boys may not be as serious as the girls. They may be doing lesser jobs. Because girls are being pushed out there. There's more of female education, gender-based this, gender that. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes, I do.
So are we raising the boys that will also face the future we envision?
I've always been worried about that there's so much focus on the girl child now.
On the girl child, yes.
Over so many years of being neglected.
Yes.
They have been focused on. But are we in the process of doing that, beginning to marginalize the male child?
It's a possibility if we don't correct it.
Okay, so you just go pari passu like the economists will say.
Yes. I think we need to consciously and deliberately train both the girl child and the boy child for leadership.
Do you agree with those who say they are signing, they don't have gender roles at home? Boys who wash the plates. There is an American actress who says she dresses her, she doesn't dress her children in any particular, she wears the boys, girls' clothes. And do you think we're going to get to that level?
No. We're not getting there.
Okay.
We're not dressing boys in girls' clothes.
Okay, you mean they should
But we are addressing the fact that every chore in the house can be done by male or female.
By anyone?
Yes.
Okay.
It's preparing you for the future. It's a survival kit. It means if you find yourself anywhere and you're alone, you can go to the kitchen and prepare a meal for yourself.
And for any other person.
And for any other person, yes, if necessary. So boys should be trained along with the girls. The era of making only one girl or the girl they don't be washing the dishes.
I grew up like that, you know.
Yeah, we all grew up.
There were rules for the girl.
We all grew up like that.
Yeah.
But I guess it's changing now. Parents are more conscious in parenting and realizing the errors of the past. Because the girls become very hardworking, they are able to even cope better in the future. So you train them harder than you train the boys.
What about, since we are talking about this thing of men, women, what about in relationships where even till now, despite all these women taking the leadership role, you still see the man footing the bills? You are even dating, you are at the university, wherever, even anywhere. The women still, these are part of the image that men had. The woman just, your man foot the bill. You are working in the same office, earning about the same salary, but you take a girl out from your office and she expects you to foot the bills.
Yes.
Pay our transport going, transport coming, and all of that. Those things come together to add to the whole image of what men have of the woman, and impacts why it becomes difficult to elevate a woman into certain positions.
That's part of why we're saying there has to be a mindset, a reset of the mind.
Do you think, what do you expect? That women can go up to men now and tell them, I like you, I'll take you out, foot the bills, pay your transport going, pay your transport coming?
Not that pointedly.
Okay.
You could take someone out and you could foot the bill if you can, or you share the bill. They're doing a lot of that.
Make it a Dutch treat.
Yes.
Everyone taking care of their
They're
bills.
sharing the bills now these days. It's not... they're sharing the bills.
Okay, as we begin to wind down now, I don't know, generally now, I've asked you before, but what are your thoughts come May 29th, or a few days or hours, or a few days we are hoping? We don't want to wait for another 6 months before the cabinet is named.
Okay.
What are your expectations, concretely now, in terms of age, gender, and all of that, in terms of the cabinet that is to come, with a hope that we'll have some women there who can move Nigeria to the next level?
Nigeria, the president-elect has always been a great... He's always been a great person at hunting heads and talent. He's good at that. We've seen that in his previous odyssey into governance. That he knows how to recruit the best. He knows how to augment himself with people that are better than him. So we believe that this coming administration, he will recruit, he will hunt for good heads, and we'll have leadership at its maximum. And I believe women will be included in his extensively in this cabinet.
And if someone like you is headhunted to a certain position, you will not say, I'm enjoying a juicy position now and I don't want to move anywhere.
No.
If you're called to serve, yeah.
Oh, if I'm called to serve, why not?
Okay.
Sure.
So you are amenable to serving your country at any capacity.
I live to serve Nigeria.
Okay, all right. I guess I'm being signaled by my producer that our time has worn down here.
All right.
Maiwo Oluwabi, CEO, Thunderbird Television. I want to thank you so much for carving out time to join me this afternoon to look at the issue of women in leadership in Nigeria. Thanks for joining me.
It's my pleasure.
All right, and for those who made efforts to call, you couldn't get through, I want to thank you. And for Suleiman, who got through, and of course, I don't know what is wrong with the networks. I want to thank you for listening. We'll be joining you back next week when we come with another topic and hopefully a fresh guest on Politics Now. For now, I want to thank Destiny, my producer, and of course, thank you as well. And don't forget, have a wonderful afternoon. Always be a good citizen. My name is Ernest. I'll be seeing you. Bye-bye.
This call to prayer is sponsored by the Nigeria Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa Allah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة